Yeah, we'll see if anyone joins, but I'm gonna try and knock out these next 5 here. Welcome, people. Yeah, we're just gonna knock out. Since I only got through 5 on the last turn, I figured I'd just get these next 5 done too. So I'm here now to do that. Yep. Okay. You'll give it a couple minutes, then we'll get started. I didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't. Yeah, I didn't cover this yet. Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna start. Screw it. If people come, people come. So for our first matchup of the stream, we have Sleepy versus Ashy. As mentioned in Sleepy's other game, they are the reigning Emerald Open champion, so a very strong old generation player. And Ashy, I believe, is 2-0 so far, so they've already made their way into brackets. Sleepy here, I believe, is... I think they might be down 0-1 right now. I don't remember, but yeah, I think they're down 1. So Sleepy really is the win here over Ashy, who has been on tear so far. Going into the matchup here, we do see, first off, this Celebi is very strong here. Yes, the Faion can U-turn it, but otherwise not much really wants to take it on. Nothing really switches into it very well outside the Drapion. Earth Power does hit that. If you go Earth Power on the switch, you might be able to KO it, depending on its bulk. Then we see also a Suicune, which is very scary here. Not much to deal with it. There's like the Haze Milo, that's about it. And even then, like, with T-Tar Sand, it's going to be getting worn down over time. He's going to have to recover more often. I will say, though, Ashy's T-Tar does look okay here. Like, outside the Steelix, even then, you can run, like, Fire Blast and just nuke through the Steelix, and nothing else really wants to take it on very well. Flyga is also quite strong here. Dragon Spam, once the Steelix goes down, is very potent. Outrage. I can even see just like Bandit Outrage, honestly, because, like, who gives a shit about Ambipom? It's a fucking Ambipom. Miss Mag is interesting here. It's pretty good at blocking Tentacruel from spinning, so Skarmory spikes are likely to stay up, which is nice. Yeah, I am noticing that Ashy has Armaldo, and there's no spin blocker on Sleepy's side, so if Ashy is worried about rocks or T-Specs potentially from Tentacruel, Armaldo's pretty decent in this matchup. Unfortunately, it does let Suicune set up. Other than that, it's not bad. And yes, like Tentacruel can come back in and set the T-Specs back up, but if it's like Pasha Boy, Armaldo can take a surf, knock it out with Earthquake. So yeah, I think I'd lean Sleepy in this matchup, but nah, I'm gonna lean Ashy just because Flygon looks so strong here. Let's get into the game though. My computer will stop shitting itself. Lovely, great timing. Great timing, computer. Just go reload this. Hopefully that works. There we go. Oh, now it looks great. Yay for shitty laptop computer. Thank you, whoever is in here, for bearing with me. And we'll get into the game. We have Sleepy on the left and Ashy on the right. See Sleepy weeding off of Steelix, Ashy weeding off with, if it will stop lagging, weeding off with Tyranitar. Oh my god. Let me just pause for a second, give it a sec to load. Okay, hope it's a little better now. So, T-Tar's going to switch out to Armaldo as the Steelix gets up rocks. Probably planning to spin them immediately. But Armaldo's going to Earthquake and crit and knock out the Steelix from full. Oh my god, that's huge for Ashy. In comes Rampardos, just get a head smash. Straight up Oko this Armaldo, so those rocks are staying up on Ashy's side. Rampardos going to take a lot of recoil there. Sleepy is going to preserve it as the Flygon just clicks Earth Power into Zapdos switch. God, this is really laggy. I'm so sorry. Progress is going to come in on the Zapdos as it clicks HP Ice. Thick Fat's going to make that attack do virtually nothing. Progress is going to fake out, get a little bit of chip on this Zapdos. What's it going to follow up with? It's going to follow up with a U-turn. Get out of dodge. Makes sense. Makes sense here. In comes T-Tar, though. And T-Tar getting paralyzed could be rough for Ashy in the long term. Zapdos is going to switch out. In comes Celebi on the Rock Slide, taking not too much damage here. And we do see is the Celebi going Grass Knot. That's going to do not too much to Drapion. Drapion is kind of heavy, so it does a good chunk, but 21's not going to last that much. Drapion does not Quick Pursuit. It's just going to stay up a Toxic Spike. Okay. Interesting. And Rampardos is going to be Scarfing, just knock out that Drapion with Head Smash. That's really opening up the Celebi here. In comes the Flygon. Scarf Head Smash still going to do 66. Oh my god, this Rampardos has done... This Rampardos has done, I think, 233% health out of the 600% on Ashy's team. This Rampardos has done over a third of Ashy's team in damage. That's wild. Zapdos get HP. Ice T-Tar can come in. What's going to be a switch? It is Tentacruel, but Tentacruel is not a great switch-in. However, the full power is going to make it a 5 switch, I guess. Skarmy is going to come in on Tentacruel, clicking Surf. That does 37. Not too much. It's probably a more physically defensive Skarmy based on that damage, if I had to guess. Tentacruel is going to knock off the Skarmy's leftovers, though, forcing it to roost more frequently. And we are going to see a roost come out here. So in comes, yep. So now the Surf again, get some chip. What's Skarmory going to click? Skarmory's going to click Spikes, okay. Tentacruel can probably spin these, though. It is going to do so. It's always fighting 0%, but yeah, that probably did literally 1 damage with that Rapid Spin. Skarmory's going to roost back up, but again, this sequence, you can just keep going. Skarmory's going to click Brave Bird this time. That's a physically defensive Tentacruel. That does 30. That does nothing. Oh my god. And yeah, this is a really good sequence for Tentacruel here. Just Skarm forcing it to keep roosting. And just baiting out those roosts can open Celebi a lot for later. As this is one of the only things that can really take on the Celebi. Yes, Flygon might have U-turn, but Flygon's really low. Surf, we are going to hit the Skarmory again. It's going to click Brave Bird. Will the recoil put you in range of another Surf? It very well might here based on this damage, yeah. I think that was a bit of a reckless play from Ashy. Now Surf can knock out the Skarmory. The crit probably does not matter based on the damage rolls we were seeing earlier. In comes the Flygon. Flygon's just going to click Draco Meteor, knock out the Tentacruel, but it's at -2 now, and it's very well in health. It can't take too many rock switch-ins. Suicune comes in. It's in prime position to just win the game here. It's going to click a Calm Mind. Does the Progly have an answer to this? Suicune is leftovers. Progly is going to click Taunt, but I think it might be too late. Surf's just going to knock it out. In comes the Flygon. It's the only thing I can, but this thing's not going to... It's not going to KO. It's a special Flygon. Yeah, HP Grass, presumably. But that's going to do virtually... Or HP Electric Will. It doesn't really matter. It's going to do nothing. And T-Tar's paralyzed. This Suicune is just going to win the game. Surf will just knock out the Tyranitar. Bringing Sleepy up to 1-1. Ashy is still, I believe, already in brackets. But that loss will eliminate a high potential of a bye for them. So very win by Sleepy. This Rampardos did so much work. He did like 200% or something. I think they 100%, 67, 66. This Rampardos went freaking crazy. I mean, that was kind of the story of the game. Like, Rampardos just broke down the team, and then it was able to clean up weight with Suicune. I think the reckless Brave Bird with Skarmory putting in range of Surf was really rough for Ashy. I don't know how much it will matter in the long term with what Sleepy had left. The Earthquake crit on Steelix early was huge, but luckily it didn't end up mattering too much in the long run. Progly was a okay set. I don't mind the Stallbreaker Progly set. The last move was probably Super Fang. Okay, let's move on to our next game. Up next, we do have here. We do have we see Bluey versus Dose. Bluey, I believe, is a Smogon player from what I remember. I don't know too much about them, but I know they're pretty solid at least. And we see Dose on their side. I believe Dose is 0-1, so he does really need to win this game to keep his tournament hopes alive. Starting by looking at the matchup. So, first thing I'm noticing here is that this Heatran is very, very branding into Dose's team. There's a lot of things that can revenge it, but it's pretty difficult to switch into, and it's not that hard to get Heatran in on something like Regice, something like Roserade, especially Scarf Heatran. I think bringing Scarf Heatran to, like, on a Roserade clicking spikes is very frightening here. Albeit, honestly, I can see the Bronzong wearing Heat Proof because, like, who cares if the Quagsire can hit you without Levitate? Like, it's actually, I'm thinking about it, it's almost definitely a Heat Proof Bronzong here. Suicune looks solid as always. I mean, Roserade, Rotom, but those do get worn down. Yeah, it's gonna have to watch out for Boom from Regice, though. In terms of hazard game, this Hitmontop's gonna have to be Foresight to hit the Rotom. Otherwise, the hazards from Bluey's Roserade are gonna be huge problems. And then on a Bluey side, we do not see a spinner, though. So A rocks that come up from Dose are going to stay up the entire game. In terms of a speed matchup, Crobat looks okay here. Even though there's the Rotom, like, you can kind of just pivot around it and gain stuff like Heatran and quick buttons. But this Rotom does look really difficult for Dose to break. Infernape also has an okay matchup here. You just need to, eliminate the Crobat and weaken Suicune. That shouldn't be too difficult in this game, I think. So yeah, I think I'm giving the matchup slightly to Bluey here with the Infernape and the Rotom being so good. Bluey with this very cool custom avatar of Chien-Pao as we get into the game. Neoking lead into Heatran. Just get up a Toxic Spike. An Ice Beam crit. Oh my god, turn 1 is just going on turn 2 is just going to knock out that Crobat. That's really rough for Bluey. For Dose, he really needed that speed control. As I'm just going to Rapid Spin, let's take Chip. Is it running Foresight? It's not. It's running Toxic and it's going to miss. Oh no, this is really bad for Dose already. Thunderbolt is going to do a ton. And oh god, Hitmontop's going to miss Toxic again, and that might just be the game over. Holy shit. Heatran's going to come in on the Thunderbolt, not take much damage. What's it going to click? Overheat. Okay, so that's good. Claim a kill, knock out the Neoking. In comes the Infernape, though. You do go Suicune, but Suicune is going to get poisoned. Inverse close combat, and that's just 38. That does a ton. It just, with the lefties, it's not going to Suicune after poison, but the Suicune is getting chipped really hard. Infernape is going to reveal it's not choice and just quick U-turn there as Suicune Hydro pumps into Roserade. Roserade not taking too much from that. And Roserade can even save a Spike here if it wants. In comes Hitmontop. Roserade just get Energy Ball knocking that out, meaning these Toxic Spikes are staying up for the rest of the game. Celebi is going to come in from Dose's side, and that means it's going to be poison wherever it comes in, even though it heals up. Wait, goes down. Reveals to be physical Celebi. Interesting, but Zen Headbutt's going to bounce off this Bronzong, not even doing more damage than Leftovers heals. Tura's Rock, I just have asthma. I'm not sick. I just have asthma. It really sucks. That's why my voice is always so fucked. It's ass, but yeah. Anyway, we do got Suicune hitting Hydro Pump into Bronzong there, and Bronzong's just gonna Grass Knot knocking it out. Yeah, I guess it's the first time. Yeah, I just have asthma and it makes my voice sound like ass. Anyway, Heatran's gonna KO the Bronzong there with Overheat, but Bluey's in such a strong position with this Infernape. Close combat's just gonna knock out the Heatran straight up. Celebi's gonna come in, but it's gonna take so much damage from U-turn. Yeah, it's just gonna take a full 66. Zen Headbutt is gonna, it's gonna do decent chip to Rotom, but it's a bit too late. Shadow Ball's gonna knock out the Celebi here. What's the last Pokemon on Dose's side? It is Tauros. And Tauros can't really break through Rotom very effectively. It's gonna quick payback, but it's faster. It's not gonna do that much damage. Thunderbolt doing 60. I don't think Tauros is gonna die in 3 turns, so unless he picks up 3 knockouts in a row, this game is over. Tauros is gonna knock out the Rotom. Doesn't Infernape have a Mach Punch? It doesn't matter. In comes the Regice. Double Edge will do enough recoil, knocking out the Tauros. This is a pretty dominant 3-0 win for Bluey. Those Toxic misses really did make it really hard for, obviously, with the Rotom staying healthy, but like, I don't know if it mattered. There was just nothing you could do about the Toxic Spike, really. Like, Rotom always hard walls Hitmontop if you don't run Foresight, and he really needed to run Foresight. Like, in Hitmontop into the Rotom matchup in DP draft, you just have to run Foresight. You cannot, especially in a team where you're this weak to Toxic Spikes, you cannot let those stay up. So I've had a bit of a misprep on Dose's side. He really needed that Foresight. Zen Headbutt Celebi's interesting. I kind of get it. It hits Roserade harder. But other than that, it's not great. I guess it's Regice harder, but looking at the matchup, I don't see much reason to run it. I know. I feel like you still go special here. Especially this last year when Hidden Power to try and chip down that Bronzong a bit. Happy to see Regice coming into play. I think this is the only Regice drafted, so at least it hit the field even if they actually get the Fire Off attack. And yeah, pretty much just those Toxic Spikes from Neoking are the story of the game. It just ran away with it in a very easy win for Bluey at 3-0. On to our next game. We do have here Marto versus Gerwini. I believe Marto might already be 2-0. I believe this game, I know Marto at least is 1 win. I know Gerwini is 0-2. So Gerwini is unfortunately out, but he's obviously going to try and get a win here to, for honor's sake and pride. So looking at the matchup here, the first thing I'm noticing is that there's 2 Starmies, obviously. And Gerwini's Starmie is pretty frightening, especially if you can make the doubles on Blissey into Hariyama repeatedly. Hariyama is not the easiest thing to switch into. If it catches Zapdos with a Guts boosted Stone Edge, that'll do a ton of damage. Then we also see this Mamoswine. Mamoswine is probably his primary way to break down Zapdos, but he does have to watch out for a bulky Scizor. But I feel like Fizz-Def versus Scizor makes a lot of sense here. It doesn't provide that much offensively anyway into Scarm. So you're probably a lot bulkier set to take on Mamoswine, take on Starmie to an extent, and you just spam U-turn around. On this other side, we do see a Shaman. Shaman looks pretty solid here if you can catch a Scizor with an HP Fire. Yes, there's a Blissey, but Blissey does not enjoy Leech Seed sets. Subseed could be Subseed Shaman actually seems incredibly strong here. Yeah, I don't know, it's a tough one. I think I'd be say it's about even. The other side really seems to be completely ahead on my eyes. So let's get into the game. So you see Solrock just boom on turn 1 as Mamoswine moves on Sash, and Mamoswine's going to get up rocks. In comes Starmie. It can spin here, actually remove the rocks and knock out Mamoswine, but Dusknoir's going to come in on the Surf. It's a Life Orb, so now Starmie is going to be forced out. Is Dusknoir packing Pursuit? It is not. Just going to Pain Split, doing a ton of damage to that Blissey and healing itself up to full. Out comes Skarmory, and Blissey's going to Shadow Ball. It's going to do jack shit to the Skarmory. It's going to do nothing. Is this Blissey running Thunderbolt or Flamethrower on top of it? No, it is not. Yeah, I don't remember how many. I think Gerwini's. Let me look at the draft real quick. I mean, I know Skarmory, Starmie, Shaman, and Mamoswine are all pretty expensive. I think it makes sense. Like Skarm's like 7. I mean, it's like 16, 16, 15, like 13. It's like what, like 60 points ish. So I think it makes sense. I mean, you just drafted some of the weaker Pokemon inside their tiers, not necessarily, but I mean, Mamoswine I don't really think is amazing, but Mamoswine's had pretty good performances so far in this tournament. Ariama's gonna Thunder Punch. Oh no, with the pressure, it's gonna do nothing. But he's gonna get the paralysis. Wow, that's huge. He's gonna keep hitting into the Zapdos. If Zapdos keeps getting paralysis, it could go down. And oh my god, is Zapdos going to roost this Hariyama? Surely it can tank one more. Can it get off the roost? It can here. Okay, it needs to get off one more roost, then it can switch out. As Shaman switches out, okay, Zapdos is gonna get off the roost here. Interesting to see Shaman come in. Seep Wave's going to do a good chunk, but it's not going to do that much. Heat Wave's going to be a 2-hit KO. Shaman's going to rest, but Heat Wave is obviously, if it goes Heat Wave, it's just going to do damage. But Shaman's just going to get rewarded. It can switch out here, heal all the way as Zapdos gets fully powered. Yeah, in the track, I get that. I think Hariyama and Dusknoir are fine. I know. I agree. Gerwini's draft has felt kind of weak in all of his games. Donphan's going to do 49. That's an offensive as hell Donphan to his Dusknoir. And it's running Toxic too to chip that thing down further. Pain Split is going to heal up Dusknoir a ton again, but Earthquake's going to do about 50 again. Dusknoir is going to burn this Donphan, so its damage output is cut significantly now. Blissey is going to come out on Dusknoir. What's Dusknoir going to click? It's just going to Pain Split, so Blissey's going to get really low, but I don't think Dusknoir can really capitalize on it. Yeah, in comes the Skarmory. Blissey's just gonna soft void, or it's gonna Aromatherapy actually, healing the burn off of Donphan. In comes Zapdos on the spikes. So Marto is gonna need to spin soon if he wants to keep his Pokemon healthy. Thunderbolt does 52 to Hariyama and gets a para back. So both sides have those paras, and that Aromatherapy actually removes Zapdos' paralysis as well. Zapdos is going to go roost here on the Hariyama. Is Hariyama going to call it over close combat? It does. And with Guts, that does 85. Oh my god. Thunderbolt is going to knock it out at -1, but Zapdos is now super low. If it can barely come back in on rocks, Mamoswine's going to come in, obviously, Ice Shard here. But this is a pretty free Scizor. Oh, the Mamoswine just cooks Endeavor. Wow. It's got Ice Shard, knock out the Scizor. It is out prioritizing Scizor's Bullet Punch with its natural speed. In comes Donphan. And Endeavor, Mamoswine. Donphan is going to quick Rapid Spin. Also, I could have seen I don't think Ice Shard knocks out from that range. Probably not. But with the spin, Donphan gets really low. In comes Skarmory, doubling out the Starmie, calling the Zapdos switch so he can fire off an attack here. But Blissey always blanks it. Yeah, Starmie's going to surf, but that's not going to do nearly enough to force Blissey out. Skarmory comes in, and finally Blissey will quick the Soft Boil, getting a ton of health back. Yeah, I mean, Grewini, honestly, I think from what I remember, Grewini got pretty unlucky in one of his other games. He's been playing decently. I think his draft just a little weak. And but he's been playing pretty well from what I've seen. He just got kind of unlucky in one of his previous games. Zapdos is going to knock out the Skarmory. Yeah, Focus Push would have been cool on Dusknoir. Heat Wave into the Shaman, does 67. Shaman's going to Seed Flare, is going to miss. And only has 4 left, but it doesn't matter. Heat Wave's just going to knock out here. In comes Dusknoir, but I don't think Dusknoir can win this endgame on its own. Donphan's going to come and be sacked to the hazards. But Dusknoir isn't able to Pain Split, which is big. In comes Starmie. What's Starmie get quick here? It's Life Orb. Just go recover. What is Dusknoir going to do? Pain Split up a bit of health. That makes sense. Thunderbolt is going to do good shit, but Dusknoir can't hit this with a Thunder Punch for tons of damage. Starmie now dies to its own Life Orb. Of course, it can recover, but I don't know if... Oh, or the Dusknoir's packing Shadow Sneak in the last slot anyway, but Dusknoir's taking so much chip here. There's no way this Blissey can be broken down. This game is pretty much over. We've seen Dusknoir's whole set. It can't really touch Blissey. Zapdos is just going to spam Roost until this thing dies to Toxic, which it will right here. In comes Starmie. Even if Starmie kills the Zapdos with an Ice Beam, never mind. It's very slow Starmie for some reason. I'm not sure why that Starmie was slower than Zapdos, because we know it's just pressure. It's not like Scarf Zapdos. I'm very confused, but it doesn't really matter even if it was a faster Starmie. Like, he can't Oko Zapdos. Maybe it gets an Ice Beam crit or freeze, but even then, you can't ever beat Blissey with it. So Marto is going to advance. I believe this does take him to 3-0, so he's likely to get a bye in round 1 of brackets. Fortress does take Grewini to 0-3, but I mean, he was fighting out there. He was really giving it his all to try and get that win. I mean, we saw the Endeavor Ice Shard Mantle. That was really cool. We saw a pretty decent Dusknoir set. Hariyama doing work with Guts. I mean, very, very solid game from both of them. Yeah, Grewini got a lot of plays, right? He played this game out of his mind. It's just I feel like it didn't really matter. The matchup was a bit rough. It honestly just, I don't know. His prep and play were right. Yeah, he got the plays right. I do agree. It just feels like does feel like maybe just his team just didn't enable him to get the win. Let's move on to our next game. So on to game 9. It's our penultimate game of this stream. We're just doing a short one here. Alright, is the stream lagging for everyone else, or is it just lagging on my phone? I hope it's not lagging for all of you guys. That would be unfortunate. Anyway, we have Grounded versus Hayden. I believe... I don't remember. I know they both played a game already, but I cannot remember... just me, that's good. I cannot remember who... I know they both played a game. I think one of them's 0-1, one's 1-0, but I cannot remember for the life of me. I don't feel like checking because pretty sure they have games later. I don't want to spoil those results for future streams. But we can just go straight into the matchup. So first thing I'm noticing is we have double Dragon on Grounded side into triple Steal on Hayden's side. What a matchup. Oh my god. Grounded lost their first game. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you. So we do see the triple Steal, but we do see double Dragon with a Magnezone. But Magnezone can't really trap any of these steals. Yeah, it's 0-1. Thank you. Yeah, Magnezone trapping. Can't really trap any of these steals. I mean, they all have Earthquake. Yes, I guess it can run Magnet Rise, but even then. Yeah, so it's kind of a weird having 3 steals against Dragmag, but your 3 steals can't really be trapped effectively by Magnezone. The Kingdra is very strong on the hand side, though. Outside the Tentacruel, not much really takes it on. And Tentacruel obviously does not have reliable recovery. And it's also kind of tasked with checking Starmie, too. Honestly, Grounded's team is incredibly offensive, as we can see. I mean, it's Dragmag, that's what you expect. But Hayden has a lot of pressure of his own with the water spam. And Aerodactyl as well. Nothing really takes on Aero either. I know, I think the fact that Hayden, Grounded's team is really offensive, but it's also really freaking slow. We see Aerodactyl and Starmie has to be the whole team, and Kingdra has to be half of it. Like, this speed advantage is going to be really hard for Grounded to overcome. I honestly think that alone is going to give Hayden a huge leg up here. Grounded can maybe make progress if he can get some speed control going, make a Dragon Dance with Dragonite or some... He does have double E-Speed, which helps, but, like... I don't know, this matchup is still pretty rough just because of the sheer speed advantage of Hayden. So I'm going to give it Hayden the leg up here. So we do have here on the left, we have Grounder, on the right, we have Hayden. We see Mammoth we into Steelix. Both are going to switch out, Lucario and Bronzong. Lucario's going to start Calm Minding as Bronzong gets up Brox. Lucario's going to Focus Blast doing 61, but Earthquake's going to do a ton back. Yeah, 64. Is Lucario going to risk another Focus Blast? It is going to stay in. In comes Venusaur. Takes 75. That's a huge crit. Yeah, Scarf Arrow does have speed. Kingdra and Rain. Yeah, I ran a Scarf Jolteon versus Kingdra in one of my matches. Shadow Ball's going to crit. Vacuum Wave's going to do a good chip to Arrow, and Earthquake's going to knock out. And the Maelstrom comes back in, friends out with an Ice Shard. Is it going to get up its own rocks? But he's going to double into Tentacruel, actually. Tentacruel is going to spin. And Bronzong's going to do a ton of damage with that Earthquake there. Tentacruel's going to get up the Rain Dance as Bronzong clicks rocks again. And he's just going to go hard into Kingdra. It's a Kingdra mirror now. Is one of them Haban? No, this Kingdra wins the speed tie and just knock out the R1. That's huge. Well, they both thought each other was going to switch out, and Hayden did get very punished for it. Ground is just going to knock out the Arrow of Ice Beam. So that Aerodactyl was definitely not what is it freaking called? Scarf. Yeah, I mean, they mentioned chat wanting, like, it to be, freaking best of 3. That's just not really feasible in drafting singles, unfortunately. Anyway, that, Aqua Tail Floatzel instead of Waterfall, that's hell of aura. It's just going to knock out Star Crunch, Aqua Tail again, and the crit. Oh my god, that's just the end of the game. Wow. And yeah, Growlithe just getting crit after crit here. That's nothing that Hagen can really do about it. I mean, Hagen's just going to boom himself out of the game. I mean, you might as well. Differential doesn't matter. Anyway, but yeah, good win by Grounded there. For the last game of this stream, actually, I have one of my games. Apparently my avatar switched. That's kind of frustrating. But anyway, let's pull up the matchup. I'm actually going to pull up my build here, since I might as well give you guys some insight into it. Yeah, Floatzel's fine. Floatzel's a fine Pokemon. Let me just pull up Showdown itself here for myself. So let's go into the matchup real quick first. So the first thing you notice is Starmie rolls me. Starmie is very annoying to deal with. I mean, yes, like Jolteon can revenge it, but it's really hard to switch into. In addition, this Zapdos is relatively difficult to break. Gliscor can be still legit. Jolteon can wear it down, but it's going to be very difficult to handle. Aerodactyl is also frustrating. It does speed time the whole team. I do have good, decent rock resist, but it does have coverage for both of them. Metagross is going to have trouble making progress into Registeel Zapdos. This matchup is definitely not like unwinnable. Kingdra is a very strong here. So long as I can chip down the Registeel, it can make Queen in the late game with Rain if the arrow's not scarfed. And Hitmonchan looks okay here. It definitely is going to be important for breaking down that Registeel, and also just having the ability to potentially spin is good, even because I don't think Missy ever comes here, and my team does not want to take repeated rocks hits. It's funny, it's a Hitmonchan mirror or something that you don't see very often, but Hitmonchan's been picking up in popularity a little bit for its price. For like a 4-point spinner, it's not bad. Actually, I think it might be 5. Either way, it's not a bad Pokemon. So we do see a Hitmonchan mirror, and both are likely coming to break down Clef and Registeel respectively. Let's get into the builder. Let me open up my team builder here. I am not built for the third game, so I'm not spoiling anything. They haven't built for the third game yet. Because I'm still waiting for Bolas to get back to me on like exact date. Yeah, Drain Punch being 60 is really unfortunate. So let's go into my Distortion Draft folder. And let's start off with the team. So we're going to start off with our lead. And our lead here is Scarf Kingdra. Scarf Kingdra is incredibly potent here. Just as a way to make progress immediately. If Arrow leads, I can hit it with a huge water move off the bat. If Nidoqueen leads, I can do that. If Registeel leads, it probably is going to Rock Turn 1. So I can just hit it. Or if I'm expecting a T-Wave, I can switch out into Gliscor. And Gliscor with Yachi Bear is pretty effective into that. Instead of Registeel, if Zapdos leads, I can fire up a huge hit on turn 1. Basically, Kingdra's just very strong on turn 1 to get a ton of damage off on whenever I need to. The only lead that would be really rough is like a Ludicolo lead, but I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. So Kingdra's just a very safe lead, and it can come in later in the game with the Scarf and do well against stuff like Starmie and Aerodactyl. Then onto my Metagross set for this game, we have Rocks with 3 coverage moves and Expert Belt. T-Punch, Earthquake, Ice Punch does hit almost everything super effectively. Hits these top 5. Does pretty good damage. The speed 194. What's the speed for? Crap. I believe it's for like 4, but yeah, it's for 4 speed Nidoqueen. So we're just creeping that. Nothing too crazy, just might as well, if the Nidoqueen does get greedy and not run any speed EVs, I can outspeed and Earthquake gets in for a wild damage. Having to run rocks on my Metagross kind of sucks, but as you'll see with Clefable and Gliscor sets, I could not fit rocks on them, so I just needed to dedicate Metagross to Rocker this game, which isn't the end of the world, honestly. Metagross is pretty good at it in this matchup specifically. Now we have all my win cons. We have Calm Mind Clef with Chople Berry, because I fully expect this Hitmonchan to come. It's his best way to break this. So I'm just going to run Chople. I can Psychic it once it lowers its defenses and knock it out if I'm at +1. My air attack of choice is Flamethrower. I was worried about Registeel, but in hindsight, Registeel always just runs a bit of speed here, outspeeds me, and booms on me, so Flamethrower makes no sense. In hindsight, I definitely should have run a move to hit the Starmie, because the Starmie can't just take my 2 moves and fish for crits, and eventually it will break me down, potentially. So Flamethrower was a bit of a throw, a bit of a troll move, I guess, but the idea there was just Registeel, but in hindsight, I'm never saying on Registeel anyway, because it can always boom. If I'm in a 1v1 scenario, I'm not going to be doing up damage with Flamethrower anyway. So yeah, so this was a bit of a misplay, a misprep. I should have run a move for Starmie on here. I mean, I'm just, yes, I guess I'm foreshadowing, but the whole point is, like, in hindsight, running Flamethrower for Registeel makes no sense because it's faster. It's probably going to be faster than me anyway. Next up, we have Jolteon. We have Shuca Berry Jolteon with Thunderbolt, HP Ground, Fake Tears, and Baton Pass. Jolteon is very strong here offensively. The only real switch in is Nidoqueen. And with the, what's it called? With the Shuca Berry, with the Fake Tears, Nidoqueen takes a ton of damage after taking some Hazard Chip. And then I can Baton Pass if I need to, just because I didn't really need a 4th move here. I was between HP Ground and HP Ice. I went HP Ground just because it also covers the Registeel a little bit. I didn't think it really mattered, honestly. I thought, it was kind of irrelevant which one I went with. So with my Shuca Berry, I take a hit from Nidoqueen back, and I can 2-hit KO it, even if it survives the first one. Onto our Gliscor. So Gliscor is Double Dance with Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Yache Berry. Running speed for, what is this speed for? This speed is for, I'm trying to remember what this speeds. This is for, I know it's faster than Scarf Starmie. It might be, I don't remember what the speed tier is for. It for something, I can promise you that. That is just pretty helpful here. I am running Hyper Cutter, no reason for the Sand Veil. There's no sand in this matchup. It's just very strong here offensively. Like, he is not switching into it very well. Getting up either setup move is really strong. Lastly, we have the Payapa Berry Hitmonchan with a ton of bulk. This allows me to take a Psychic from, like, I think it's Spec Starmie and KO it back with Thunder Punch if I'm at +1. And Starmie's just such a huge issue in this matchup. I don't really have a choice. I need to bring Laura Hitmonchan. I just can't get around it. It also allows me to maybe break down the Registeel. I brought Low Kick over Close Combat because realistically, everything on the team other than Registeel, I'm cooking Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. I'm not hitting a fighting move anyway. So Low Kick is the hardest hitting move to hit Registeel without lowering my defenses, allowing me to potentially preserve my bulk. If Registeel is in, for some reason, I just need a knockout. I can Low Kick. That can preserve my bulk for the Starmie. So that, yeah. Quickly, we got the Scarf Kingdra, X Rebel, 3 attacks, Rocks Meta, Chople, 2 attacks, Calm Mind Clef, freaking Fake Tears, Jolteon. I've run Fake Tears way more than I ever should. I ran on Flutter a lot in Uber's League once. I like this move way more than I should. Double Dance, Yache Berry, Gliscor, and Payapa Berry, bulk up Hitmonchan. You always know it's a good matchup when you have 4 mons in a row, all with fucking resist berries. Anyway, let's get into the game itself. I hate seeing this default avatar. I need to switch it back. Anyway, we have Kingdra click Surf into the Hitmonchan. Just take close combat here. It's going to do a lot of damage. I believe I do switch out if you're a Mach Punch. Yeah, I go into my own Hitmonchan. He does Mach Punch. However, I am worried about the close combat knocking me out here, so I'm just going to go out into my Gliscor. Gliscor now frightens this out, so I can just click Earthquake. Do 55 to Starmie. Really, it does have a good amount of bulk in then. Anyway, in comes the Starmie as I go Clef, and then Clef is going to Calm Mind. Nidoqueen is just going to taunt me here as I just fire off a Psychic, doing a good chunk to it. This is going to get his rocks as I knock it out, so Nidoqueen going down is really good for Jolteon. In comes Hitmonchan, and my Clef is going to automatically go 2 for 1, as the Chople Psychic is going to do his job, knocking out the Hitmonchan from that range. In comes the Registeel is framing me out with Boom, so I have to go into Metagross. I may go Flamethrower there, but I don't think it makes sense. Anyway, Zapdos comes in. We just get my rocks here. No, I'm got Ice Punch. Get a chip on Registeel. Now I get my own rocks up. Registeel's get Thunder Wave. This doesn't really matter that much. Metagross not speeding much anyway. It's good Seismic Shock, Size 5 for Earthquake for 62%. Citrus Berry, but it's still going to be in range of another one. He's going to Seismic Toss again. Unfortunately, I am going to make a bit of an overplay and Ice Punch. Really think he will preserve his Registeel to boom on Clef later. So I'm just going to Earthquake. I am going to take it out. So it is looking pretty good. I'm up 6-3. Zapdos comes in. I'm just going to sack my Metagross. And it's just going to KO me of HP Ice. And I just bring in my Jolteon here. Yeah, Jolteon's pretty free. I am going to Fake Tears, putting his Zapdos down to -2 defense. And when Charge is down at -1, so Thunderbolt will do a ton to it here. Thunderbolt doing 67. Zapdos get 5 HP Ice, not do too much to me. And now I am going to Thunderbolt knock out Zapdos. So I am up 5-2 now. I have a very commanding position. Aerodactyl is going to come in and it's just going to kick Stillage. And for some reason, I did not think of Scarf at the moment. I was like, oh, he just won the speed tie. He's always Scarf. He kept it in the back. He is Scarf. I have a Kingdra and Rain. He is Scarf. And for some stupid reason I cannot tell you, I go into Kingdra and I just sack into Scarf Stone Edge completely for the entire game there. Kingdra in the game. Then I go Hitmonchan and then I throw the game again because instead of bulking up, if I bulked up I always won the game because I take no damage from Stone Edge. I bulk up, go up +1, and then +1 Thunder Punch should knock out the Starmie. But no, I decided to freaking Thunder Punch and kill the Aerodactyl, leaving Starmie able to do a wild work. Starmie's get Psychic, I am get Eat It with the Pyop Berry, but Thunder Punch isn't going to do enough. 20%, yeah, but it doesn't matter. And now Starmie can just, on my Clef Psychic gets the Step Drop, forcing me out, so I do have to sack my Gliscor. And then I just have to Calm Mind because I only have Flamethrower and Psychic until it crits me and I die. So yeah, there's nothing I can really do about it. Like, I threw the game versus the Aerodactyl completely. I sacked my Kingdra for no reason, and then I didn't click Bulk with Hitmonchan, which was an auto win because we see here Thunder Punch did, I believe, yeah, Thunder Punch did how much? What was it? Thunder Punch did 68, yeah, so +1 just 102, knocks out Star full, so yeah. TLDR, I am very bad and threw this game like 3 times. So, fortunately that talks me out of my own tournament, which sucks, but I think my prep was good both games. I just played really badly. Is what it is. We're going to leave it off there. Kind of somber note to end it off on, but that's okay. I will be back probably tomorrow with some more. Have a good